In this episode, we're going to talk about something that gets forgotten amongst business owners, especially if you're super busy and you are running most of the procedures in your business yourself. So we're going to talk about burnout. Now, it's a really important topic because we get so wrapped up in the day-to-day operating of the business and having to do quite a lot of the tasks, especially at this early stages before you get staff that can take on some of those jobs and pressures off your shoulders. We tend to do a lot of it to begin with. It's very easy to get burnt out if you're doing everything, working every hour, weekends. You've got to take some time to yourself. Now, yes, at the start, it's going to be hard work. It's not necessarily going to be possible to take holidays and things like that. But just taking a day off or an afternoon off or some time to kind of decompress and not think about work is super important. Especially if you're in a service-based business or a gym owner like myself, the quality of my classes relies on me being at my best. So if I'm running on low energy or burnt out or haven't had time off for a while, then the quality of my classes will suffer. I will get agitated easier. Things that you normally don't bother you may start to bother you. Just little things like that, which you don't realize until you take some time off and then come back refreshed, revitalized and ready to go again. So it's super important to take some time to yourself and don't allow burnout to creep in. The worst thing you can do is end up resenting the life you've created for yourself because you're so burnt out all the time. You just have no energy, or you start to lose the passion for why you did this in the first place. It happens a lot, and it's because people aren't focusing on themselves. They're just in the business all the time. You need to take some time out and put some time aside to recuperate and make sure that you're operating at 100% all the time. Like I said at the start, it will be difficult because you're building your business. You're in that building phase. Normally the first kind of couple of years, you're in that building phase. So you won't get as much time off until you start bringing in additional help and you start getting systems into place which will allow you to take more time off. But like I said, it's still important to take a day off, go out somewhere, just to remove yourself from the business just so you can unwind and come back refreshed and 100%. Now, the second part of this video is going to be on another aspect where business owners kind of neglect or forget, and that is rewarding yourself or giving yourself a bonus, if you like, when you hit those milestones. Remember, you're doing this for a reason. It's whether it's to create more free time for yourself, to create a better life for yourself, to create more money for yourself that your regular 9 to 5 wasn't paying you. When you hit those milestones along the way, reward yourself for doing so. If you're just constantly working all the time, you start to lose sight of why you did this in the first place. It can't always be about work. You have to create some sort of reward or celebrate your accomplishments. We don't want to just be working all the time where we're not actually thinking about what we've achieved. We can get caught up in what's in the distance, always reaching for the next goal and working and pushing towards the next progression, that we forget exactly where we started. So it's important that you set out little milestones along the way. For me, when it was growing the gym, it was 50 members, then 100 members, then our first location, then add X amount of members, or building your final location or what your dream location looks like. Every time you hit one of those milestones, reward yourself for doing so, or celebrate that accomplishment. It could be something simple like going out for dinner or going away for the weekend, booking a spa day, something to celebrate so you take a moment to stop what you're doing, not pushing forward again, and realize how far you've come. You've achieved that milestone, congratulate yourself for it, and then once you've done that, now it's all steam ahead to that next goal. It's also a good idea to do this because it reminds you why you're doing it in the first place. If you reward yourself and you treat yourself to, let's say, a nice weekend away, upgrade the room or go out for an expensive meal, put yourself in the environment you wish to see yourself in at the end goal, just for that brief moment, because it will remind you why you're putting in so much effort. No one will work harder than you as the business owner. No one will put in as much hours and time as you as the business owner. No one will put their own money in like you will as the business owner. So at times it's good to take a little bit out to reward yourself and maybe a loved one you take with you to really emphasize why you're doing this. You want a better quality of life, so put yourself in the environment that you want to be in just for that brief moment, and then it'll reignite that passion, it'll reignite that drive, so you can get there, and maybe it'll be a goal where you'll always be in that environment or in that lifestyle. But it's important to celebrate the little wins along the way, because then we remind ourselves why we're putting all this work in and why we do what we do. If we're not rewarding ourselves, we're just slogging away day in, day out, you start to forget about why you're doing this in the first place. And the absolute worst case scenario, you end up trapped in the job that you try to escape from. So the reason why we end up working for ourselves and creating our own business is because we either want to set our own time frames or we want more freedom. A lot of people, when they get wrapped up so much in their business and they're working all the time, that they never pull themselves away and celebrate the milestones, is they end up getting trapped in their own business, and they feel exactly the same way they did when they were working their 9 till 5, but they're just in their own business that they created. So it's almost like you've created your own prison, and once you create your own prison, it's even harder to get out of than if you're just quitting a job and then starting up yourself. So this video is all about rewarding yourself for the hard work that you put in and laying those milestones. So when you hit that milestone, celebrate that achievement. Don't just go on to the next one straight away. Stop for a moment, look at where you started, look at how far you've come, celebrate the fact, and then refreshed, revitalized, move on to your next goal and your next target. Do that along the way until you get to your final goal. And as business owners and entrepreneurs, we never finally get to that goal, because a new goal will appear or something else will pop up in your brain and you'll be pushing towards that target. But by setting it in the first place, it gives you something to aim for, it gives you something to achieve, but celebrate it along the way. Don't forget that, okay? If you've got any questions, put them in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer it, and I shall see you on the next one.